In a speech delivered on his behalf, former President Thabo Mbeki said at the funeral of the late Police Commissioner Jackie Selebi, said the NPA should investigate how the Selebi corruption case was conducted. Mbeki said, and I quote him, "It is my fervent hope that the NPA does indeed carry out an honest and thorough investigation into this matter and not bury it simply because Jackie would have been buried," close quote. Selebi was sentenced to 15 years imprisonment in August 2010 for taking bribes from convicted criminal Glenn Aglioti. My guests to discuss this issue are Isaack Lesole, a member of the Friends of Jackie Selebi Formation, and former crime intelligence head Mulangi Mphego. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Let me start with a question to both of you. Why are you raising your suspicions and your worries about the investigation into Jackie Selebi only now that he has passed away? Mulangi?
Well, Justice, I had hoped that that opportunity will come for me at the time that I was enlisted as a state witness by the prosecution during the trial of Jackie Selebi. But I wasn't aware at the time that the Scorpions themselves were tackling me legally. They were silencing me by pretending to invite me to their prosecution process. And I was surprised and ran out of time when they dejected me at the last moment.
But you could have raised these issues between 2010 when he was convicted and now in 2015 when he passes away.
Yes, no. I raised it a long time ago. I raised it in a written format. I wrote to Mukode Dimpia. I explained to him all of my worries, all of my suspicions. He actually responded. We had communications to and fro. No, I raised it, Justice. The only thing that didn't happen, as I said earlier, is that we didn't raise it and call a press conference.
Did you raise it? Why are you doing this now?
Well, I think it's important to really, bring forward that as like everybody believes, I mean, the ANC itself, the different ministers and individuals in their individual capacity have really said it, that we have all been under the impression that the NPA was reviewing the matter. And we actually surprised now that they're not reviewing the matter because there has been reasons from the very beginning, immediately after Jackie's conviction, that this issue needed to be reviewed. And to our surprise, we realized that there's no review and it looks like it's a new matter, and it's not. It's been there, it has been considered.
But Mr. Lesole, an independent panel reviewed this. Why didn't you raise your hand and say, I'm sorry, why aren't we being called to present the evidence that we have, if you had any? The sad thing about an independent panel is that it works on the basis of the information that is provided to it. And we're saying, we're making an allegation that says that we have reason to believe that the information that was supposed to be utilized at the time that would have exonerated the former commissioner, that information was suppressed. And it is only now that we feel that it is, now that he is buried, this truth, and this is as a principle, we're saying that it cannot go unchallenged. The time has come that it must be challenged, and we're bringing it up now. Okay, let's look at the information that I have in the public space at hand. Mulangi Mphego, you say, you told the newspapers yesterday that you were at a meeting of the National Intelligence Coordinating Committee where yourself and other intelligence chiefs mandated Jackie Selebi to befriend Glenn Aglioti. Is that right? Tell us a bit about what happened at that meeting. Intelligence
head would normally be convened under the umbrella of NICOC. NICOC would convene all intelligence head in their capacity as intelligence principals. That body called NICOC does not issue out tactical intelligence instructions. What happened is a report was circulated which alluded to the involvement of Glenn Aglioti in a number of misdemeanors ranging from illicit drug peddling, money laundering, and so forth. But that we needed to know more. But we didn't have access to Aglioti. So at that level, we decided that because we knew that Commissioner Jackie Selebi had interactions with Glenn Aglioti before at the time that he was running the repatriation program of the ANC, that we will request him to continue with that relationship, because that relationship presented us an opportunity to find out more about the shenanigans of Glenn Aklioti.
Now, I don't mean to be cynical here, but how does it work that today, for example, NICOC would ask Ria Pierre to go and do operational work to become James Bond, as someone put it in one of the websites today? It doesn't, if you're the head of crime intelligence, you can't be going out and tapping Isaac's phone or my phone or someone else. Are there agents who do that, surely?
No, I think it's just stretching of strings, Justice. The fact of the matter is the relationship that existed because of the repatriation program and the repatriation work presented an opportunity for us to tap into the activities of Aklioti in a way that he wouldn't be suspicious.
Jackie Selebi took the stand at his trial. He did not raise this issue in his defense. He had other issues that he put on the table. Not once did his legal counsel, not once did he say, I'm sorry, it's now time for me to call on my colleagues in the intelligence committee, for everyone who sat in that NICOC meeting to say, I was on official duty when I interacted with Glenn Aklioti. Why hasn't that come up?
The other thing that happened during that trial is one of the intelligence heads, myself, was subpoenaed to come and give evidence. That person, myself, I was removed from the list of state witnesses, and they made sure that I am unable to proceed and to give evidence by charging me. Malala Manzini was supposed to go and give evidence. He suffered the same fate. A number of other people in the police services who were averse with the operation were due to give evidence. All of them.
As part of give evidence for the prosecution, surely if you knew that Jackie Selebi is an innocent man, you should have gone to his lawyers and said, I'm sorry, I know this information, I have it. Mr. Manzini should have done it, and other members of NICOC should have come forward and said,
but that's not how court processes operate, Justice. What happens is, when you are enlisted as a state witness, you wait for the state to lead its evidence and to lead its witnesses. Only when the state is done with its case, then you are free to consult with the other people. The fact of the matter is, I couldn't consult with the defense for Jackie Selebi because I was charged. If I had done so, it would have meant I would subject myself to 2 trials at one platform. That would have been severely unfair on my part.
Jackie Selebi went to jail for 15 years, and you didn't feel it proper to raise this matter all along. Mr. Manzini didn't feel it proper to raise this matter all along. In fact, let's say there were 15 of you. Let's say there were 10 of you at NICOC, and not a single one said a word when Jackie Selebi, a freedom fighter, walked that plank into jail.
What do you suggest they should have done?
They should have said an innocent man is
But you
being
don't raise hands in court. You only access court processes by being a witness. You can only be invited to be a witness by the prosecution or by the defense. If none of those people think it is a good strategy to pursue, then you will not be in court.
Isaack Lesole, you are a member of Friends of Jackie Selebi. Are you satisfied with these intelligence heads who sat there and gave Jackie Selebi instructions to befriend a convicted drug dealer, and they let him hang?
Look, we've always been very, very concerned that with a little bit of information that we've had, and those of us who've been a little bit closer to Jackie and the family, we've known that there's been injustice, and we had hoped that an opportunity like this would come. Unfortunately, it came when Jackie had already passed on. But I must tell you that there has been work in the background to try and bring these issues up. In fact, I must tell you that I think we were misled to a large extent because we thought that the NPA would have revealed and dealt with this issue.
But the NPA did. But let me move to another question. To Isaac, surely the president of South Africa between 1999 and 2008 sends Welile Nhlapo to speak at the funeral of Jackie Selebi and says, you know, this was a feud between two law enforcement agencies that surely there is something to it. This is the same president who fired Vusi Pikoli because Vusi Pikoli was bringing the same charges. He knows something, and he didn't tell the family. Even on Saturday at the funeral, he still says, one day I'll reveal all, maybe in my memoirs. Don't you think that is strange, that he doesn't have any evidence to put on the table?
Well, justice on our part, it's a confirmation of what has always been a suspicion. And such comments come in very handy, because what they really reveal to us is that then there is enough evidence that could be utilized for us to ask the NPA to review their internal processes, and especially how evidence was collated from the very beginning, because we believe that this is where the biggest mistake took place, because the collation of evidence at the time was so skewed that it only collated information that was used to incriminate Jackie, but every other piece of information or evidence that was used, that could have been used to exonerate him, was suppressed, and that was confirmed.
Do you believe Mr. Mulangi Mphego when he says this was an instruction from NICOC for Jackie Selebi to befriend Glenn Aglioti?
We, as the friends of Jackie Selebi, we've always believed that there was more than what meets the eye. And we have known that there was a lot more that we could gather from the intelligence community. And it was unfortunate that as a civilian, you are very limited and you are not able to access all the other information that you need. But yes, we believe.
Gentlemen, I'd like to get closure from you. Mulangi Mphego, the NPA says this matter is closed. It's had an independent panel. A High Court convicted Jackie Selebi, and the Supreme Court of Appeals upheld that conviction. There is nothing for the NPA to do here. What do you want to see happening? What do you want to see happening, Mulangi?
Well, I would like to see an NPA that wakes up in the morning and say, bring us the evidence of the things that you say have gone wrong. I would like the NPA that has an institutional memory, that will remember that it was Jackie Selebi who walked into SARS offices and instigated an investigation against what is now known as the Empire K investigation. How could Jackie Selebi have been the same person who instituted investigations against Aglioti and befriend him for other improper motives?
Isaack Lesole, I'm afraid I've run out of time, but thank you for your participation. Mulangi Mphego, thank you for your participation. I hope to have you here one day with the NPA in the room so that we can have a proper debate. Thanks so much. After the break, our winner and loser of the week. Stay with us.